Steven Crowder broke this news. He's been on the program many times. And he got his hands on 3 pages of the manifesto that was written by the shooter in this Nashville shooting that happened in February of this year. It's a woman, a young woman who claims she's a trans male. She was sort of trying, posing as a male, but biologically female. And she shot up a school, killing 6 individuals, including children. And she died as well. Now, all this time later, we're going on a year later, they have not released the manifesto. And this is very unusual. I do not remember another case in which this has happened. As disturbing as it might be, and as they always are, they're always deranged rantings. They release them because the public has a right to know. They can be understood. They can provide a window into usually madness and potentially motivation. Not in this case. In Nashville, the FBI's kept it. The local authorities have kept it. No one's leaked it. And they just keep saying whatever's in there is so horrific that we can't release it. It's so, and all along, it just makes you say, well, what is so awful that we can't see it? Like, they're all awful. No mass shooter's manifesto is a nice read. So what is it that's... So in any event, what appears to have happened is, and I haven't talked to Steve and I haven't seen his whole presentation, but it's believed to be, and he didn't give up his source, it's believed to be in local law enforcement who got fed up with this hiding of the manifesto, released 3 pages of it to him. I understand you've now seen it as well through Steven. And some pages he's posted, though YouTube has banned them. So what have they revealed to you?
So when I spoke with my contacts at Steven Crowder's show, I did inquire how did they receive these documents, and their quote to me was from a source close with law enforcement. So I'm of the view that the public has a right to know what this mass school shooter wrote and did in the days and hours leading up to the horrific actions in March of this year. There have been some family members of the victims who have stated publicly that they did not want this release. I hear them, I listen to them, but I think it's in the public interest to know. We don't have the full writings from this notebook. There have been only 3 pages released to Steven Crowder. But what they do show is there is a pathological grievance ideology that is running through some of the screeds through these pages. A hatred of white people, a resentment against their perceived wealth and the privileges they have. And I mean, these are hateful ramblings against children. And I think one thing that one of the pages that was really chilling and disturbing to me was like this, the shooter wrote out a schedule for the day. And it was so, the way they did it was so calm in that early in the morning, there's breakfast, and then there's time for lunch, and then there's time to take care of stuffed animals and belongings. And then down, as you go further down, there's a time for going to the Covenant School. And so this person was clearly very committed to it and viewed it. I don't know if this person even realized that this was that they were planning terrorist attack. It was like just another thing to do on the day. And
she seemed joyful about it. She seemed very happy about it, very much looking forward to it. It was absolutely disgusting. And this is a person, we don't know what her story was, whether she was on cross-gender hormones or some sort of medications to assist with a transition. Those can include testosterone, which does, sometimes extreme things to a woman, but she was clearly a mental health patient. On top of all of that, not blaming it on testosterone, I'm just saying this would be the kind of thing the media would normally be exploring, but because you're not allowed to touch trans ideology as having had anything to do with this, we don't touch it. And you and I both know, especially Andy, having covered all the things you have, if this were a white guy wearing a MAGA hat who went in and shot up, God forbid, a school with a bunch of black children, this manifesto would have been released long ago. But what we appear to have here is a female to male trans person who wrote openly about her desire to kill crackers, white privileged, quote, crackers, at a, quote, private fancy school. And that does not line up with any narrative of the left or the media, which is the same thing. And in this case, law enforcement seems to be cooperating with that narrative too, because they buried it.
Yeah, and another curious thing is that there was a lot of homophobic slurs written through these pages. Some people are wondering, why would an LGBTQ plus person say those type of slurs against homosexuals? Well, as others have pointed out before, and this is speculation, but it's something I think it's analysis that is worth considering, is that some people who are homosexual and transition to what they think is the opposite gender do it out of the inability to cope with being gay. And we do know that this mass shooter, before having a trans identity, was lesbian. So that's something to consider and I think discuss. And yeah.
It just looks very much, if you look, and I'm not going to put it up on the board, but it looks very much like quotations out of a women's or ethnic studies class at Yale. All the quotations that this shooter puts in the manifesto, you know, what's motivating her, how she thinks about the children at this school. And my heart goes out to the parents. No one has any desire to cause them any more pain. It seems like you'd already have achieved the maximum pain possible for a human if this happened to your child. But we do need to understand exactly what infected this person's mind. It is to the benefit of society to understand to the best we can. I mean, to the extent any of these things can be understood. And it is not for the FBI to protect us from the horrors of this writing. And honestly, like, if the New York Times got its hands on this, I believe it probably would have published it. If it had been leaked to them, I think they would have published it. Would have gone against their narrative too. But Stephen did what any journalist would do, which is if you get your hands on a leak like this, you publish it. The only way you don't publish it is if you've stolen it. If you've been the product of stealing, you know, you've been the thief, then you shouldn't. But as a journalist, if you receive this is newsworthy, and you publish it. And shame on you, YouTube, for taking it down. It's not appropriate. They published it over on Rumble, and good for Rumble. But same thing. This is newsworthy. And actually, the study of it could actually potentially lead to our ability to understand and hopefully prevent another one of these things. How dare any of these people tell us we don't get to know? Yes, we do get to know. We have children. We participate in the society. And who the hell is the YouTube executive deciding to protect us in her judgment or his? No, you don't have the expertise. You don't have the background. We'll figure that out for ourselves. It's infuriating, Andy. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, which means the best Genucel sale of the year, just in time for the holidays. The Genucel Most Popular Package is back for you to look stunning at your Thanksgiving gatherings. And now, get the brand new Genucel 3 also included in the Most Popular Package. Sunny from Rockford, Illinois said, "I'll give Genucel 5 stars because the products do exactly what they've promised. It's working. I love all the products and I highly recommend it." Take advantage of the Genucel best sale of the year and say goodbye to fine lines, crow's feet, bags, and puffiness, laugh lines, and dark spots. The Genucel experience is like no other. Look and feel your absolute best or your money back, no questions asked. Go to Genucel.com/MK60 for an incredible holiday discount. Better than 70% off on Genucel's Most Popular Package with the Genucel 3 product and Dark Spot Corrector. And for results in 12 hours or less, the Immediate Effects product is included in this package for free. Go to Genucel.com/MK60 for a free upgrade to priority shipping at checkout. GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.